On this episode of Hit the Books Podcast, we are reviewing Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Stay tuned!
Are we not calling it Shazam 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Missed opportunity.
Fuck.
Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hit the Books Podcasts. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Holcomb.
And I'm Emery Saunders.
And today we are reviewing the big new superhero release, Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
I'm still calling it Shazam 2 Electric Boogaloo. It had the most lightning.
So, some context. We went to the theater. It's opening weekend this weekend, right?
Yeah, this is the opening weekend.
So we don't know what the box office results are, but there were some early reviews that came out. Mediocre.
You're going to make me say it.
Please say it.
Okay. But the thing is, it's not mediocre, though.
It's not. It's great.
It's great. It's great. But for the sake of what they're putting out, I will say mediocre. That's what they want you to think. They lied.
Yeah. Go see it.
Go see it.
If you enjoyed the first one, and especially if you're a DC simp like I am, and I don't mean DCEU. I'm not a DCEU simp. But Shazam is the only good thing that came out of the DCEU. And the second one's just as fun, if not more fun.
How did they manage to make an entire meme factory of a movie?
I feel like they tried to do what Thor Love and Thunder was doing and failing to do, but they succeeded instead.
I'm going to say they succeeded if for no other reason than the context of who the character is. Shazam, otherwise DC's Lightning Boy, who has a branding issue, as that
severe branding issue
that movie tries and hilariously, like, on purpose, fails to address all the way up until the end.
Yes.
This movie succeeds where Thor Love and Thunder fails because Shazam's actually a teen.
Yeah, it's about a child. That's why the jokes work.
Not a person who just never fucking matured.
Not an ancient Viking god from space.
Who has seen and inflicted death for thousands of years.
But the screaming goats are funny.
Oh my God.
No.
If I hear a screaming goat ever again in my life.
But unicorns, on the other hand.
They get a pass.
Taste the rainbow.
Motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta avoid spoilers at this point.
Let's not jump the James Gunn yet.
All right. Before we get too far, of course, follow us on Twitter at HTBVids, on Facebook at facebook.com/HitTheBooks. You'd think I've done this so many times, I would have it down by now, but no.
I swear we're professionals.
Mediocre professionals. And of course, we have our website, htbvids.com, where you can find links to all of the different podcast streams and YouTube channel. Of course, if you don't mind, please go to our YouTube channel specifically. Leave us a like, maybe comment if you have some feedback that you'd like us to know. And subscribe if you haven't already. It really goes a long way to helping us out. We're really trying to grow the YouTube platform in particular. But, of course, your support is also welcome on the streaming service of your choice. Of course, we're on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, etc., etc. If you like us on any other streaming service that you don't find us on, please let us know, and I'll be happy to work on getting us on there. So definitely reach out to us at HitTheBooksVids@gmail.com if you would like to submit any questions for the show or any other types of materials or feedback or any kind of sponsorship opportunities. We'd love to hear from you. All right. All that's knocked out. Shazam 2 went in with rock bottom expectations. We know the DCEU is dying a weird sideways death
Oh, don't bring Sideways into this.
That's fair. He's dealing with enough as it is. And again, branding issues.
Branding issues. Oh my god.
So if you can't tell from my shirt, I'm wearing a Wonder Woman shirt to the Shazam movie.
I wonder why that might be.
Because they put the cameo, the super secret cameo, in the fucking trailer right before the movie came out, so nobody got to enjoy the surprise of the cameo.
You mean
which was?
Yeah. We're going to talk about the cameo. That cameo.
There's things to say.
Oh my god, there's so much.
And one other thing I'll say before we get into the spoiler portion of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This movie might end up being a better D&D movie than the actual D&D movie that's coming out in 2 weeks.
No goddamn way.
It sure felt like it.
Oh, I mean, look, there are a lot of creatures that show up in this movie that may or may not be...
It's a bunch of children role-playing super-powered people fighting demigods and minotaurs.
Okay, that said, hear me out on this one. The creatures that they used are the same Greek mythological creatures that D&D has been aping for fucking decades now. That said, if this movie, as the part of the dying gasp of the Snyderverse, if this movie manages to be a better D&D movie than the D&D movie, I don't think Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast will recover if the Shazam movie is a better D&D movie.
I believe your quote verbatim in the theater is Wizards of the Coast is gonna be pissed.
You're not wrong.
Trademark Emery.
Yeah, that's fair, dog. That's fair.
All right. Are there any other non-spoiler things you want to mention at the beginning of this review?
Nothing. If for no other reason than I can't verify it at the moment.
I'll say the MVP of the movie,
out of nowhere,
is none of the characters you would think.
It's not even a person.
Yeah, there's no voice acting really at all.
It's just an object.
MVP.
We're going to get into that.
All right. If you didn't figure it out by now, we are going to go into spoilers for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. If you want to go into this movie as fresh as possible, unfortunately, the trailers already spoiled a lot of things that could have been cool moments, but instead just became cringe moments. But
we're trying to get people to watch this movie.
They did it with the wrong person.
They really did.
Now, Superman and Black Adam, okay. You're drawing people.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot.
Mm-mm.
Not as much.
Nah.
Not as much.
Nah.
Unless you're a simp. But, yeah. Let's get into it. You've been warned. If you don't want to hear the spoilers, go ahead, see the movie.
And then come back.
Come back. Watch the intro again if you want to. Or just skip right to this. I'll have it timestamped in the comments below. I've been doing that recently. Hopefully it's more convenient for everybody out there. Let me know. Okay. Spoilers abound.
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Spoilers!
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about what we did not like about the movie, because I assume there's going to be a lot less of that than what we liked about the movie.
Oh, yeah. We can knock that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Why did we wait until after all the credits have rolled to finally come back to that fucking doctor that everybody forgot about from the first movie?
The worm.
And the worm.
It takes him a while to get places, okay?
It takes him exactly as long as it takes to start the filming and finish releasing a movie amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice that they did it.
I mean,
I think the inside joke now is that it's definitely not going to lead to anything. It is definitely not leading to anything of significance. And quite frankly, there's two secret endings in this movie. The first one isn't going to lead to anything either.
Yeah.
Mostly because The Rock ruined all our fun.
Quite literally, they filmed and put into this movie 2 dead ends. 2 of them.
So, I'm going to look something up because one of my big issues is something that is unavoidable, and that is the passage of time.
Are you talking about some of the cast members looking a little different?
A lot different. In fact, one person wasn't the same person at all. So the original Shazam was released on April 5th, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking 4 years ago. In the movie, they're acting as if it's been 2 years since the last movie. And everybody is significantly older than they probably should be within the canon of what they are portraying. And I would assume that a lot of the actors and actresses were probably already older than what they were portraying to begin with.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this is the problem with anything starring kids that you want to make sequels to.
Right.
Those kids grow up.
It's like, unless you're doing it like Peter Jackson style, where you are filming all 3 movies over the course of a solid year, and then editing those out for another like 2 to 3.
Yep.
The aging issue that you're going to have with kids is going to be apparent in the very next movie.
Yeah.
Because of how fucking long it takes.
And there's not a lot you can do about that. I understand. But man, it really, at times, brings you out of the movie. And I almost feel like they didn't fully utilize the child actor. I use the term child generously.
Yeah.
The child actor for Billy Batson, basically at all for the whole movie. And his few roles are like 3 lines and pretending to be, spoiler, dead.
Yeah. Why was the child, air quotes, more mature than the adult-looking superhero that he transforms into?
Yes. The actor's name is Asher Angel. Asher, I don't know if you had more lines and more roles in the movie originally. I don't know the background. But they just told Zach, go ahead and run with it. We're just going to have you in full costume for basically the entire movie, regardless of context.
Yeah, we're going to pull away as much focus away from your child form and try to place as much as we can on the full-grown man that is Zachary Levi.
Yeah, and there are a lot of allusions to that in a lot of the pre-reviews that I've been seeing, that the movie basically forgets that Billy Batson's the character and the main character at that. And they focus almost entirely on the family, specifically Freddy.
Yeah, Freddy. I think it's only because what's the actor who plays Freddie Freeman?
Let's look it up.
Let's look it up.
Give him the credit he is due, because he does a very good job. Oh, that's a baseball player.
that is a baseball player.
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Jack Dylan Grazer is probably the second best actor in this movie.
Yeah.
And he follows right behind the best actor in this movie, Jaimin Hansu, as the Wizard.
As Wonder Woman.
Oh, no!
I'm sorry. We haven't gotten to things we like yet.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get to that.
It awakens something in me that I'm not sure I want to admit.
It's weird. They also have a door like in the Rock of Eternity that's just called Nightmare Fuel. Why isn't that in there?
There you go.
Okay, things we didn't like. I mentioned the scene with the doctor, whatever the fuck his name is, and the worm. Just kind of being tacked on, thus making it very obvious that that is a dead end that is never going to be explored.
No.
If I were to pick anything else out that I didn't like,
Dr. Savannah.
Dr. Savannah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Savannah and the worm that talks to him while he's in prison.
And Mr. Mind is the worm.
That is that's seems a little presumptuous, but you know, that's whatever.
It's a worm with a voice box.
Sure. And I think the only other thing that I didn't like was the mid-credit scene right before that, where they tried to pitch to this man-child that is Shazam, hey, do you want to join the Justice? Yeah, I want to join the Justice League. No, the Justice Society. Like, no. Wait. Is Wonder Woman in that one? No.
How about international? Dark?
Dark? No, you don't get to do that one.
Oh.
Wonder Woman
might. Keanu Reeves.
No, Wonder Woman might get to do that one if she's feeling very Kratos-y.
Yeah, we don't need more of this particular Wonder Woman, in my opinion. Nothing against you, gal, but
can we
you've
keep
had some stinkers.
Okay, can we keep the theme music?
Yes, as long as they know how to balance it.
They
have
definitely
the
overpowered everything with it.
Well, I don't think either of us like that particular cameo or how it was portrayed. But yeah,
it's weird that the scene where they're impersonating her is better than the scene where she actually shows up.
Yes. But yeah, it's weird. It like they're for reasons, conveniences. They're on Mount Olympus, burying Billy Batson.
And we're gonna say a wizard did it.
Yes, even though he had no magic in his staff, but okay. And they're mourning, and then they just blast her theme music for a boot to step in. And we're in the middle of this moment where everybody's crying over their dead son and brother. Just
like, we get it.
It's everything with DC. They just don't have any self-restraint. Everything's drowning in CGI and just come on.
Here's the thing with that. It's like that moment when you really figure out, like, oh, this is what their theme song really is. It weirdly reminded me of Thor Ragnarok, when they could not stop playing fucking Immigrant Song anytime Thor did anything.
Hey, when you get the rights to that song, you use it. You
You
don't get the rights to that song very easily or cheaply.
Thank you, Led Zeppelin.
You milk it for everything it's worth.
Thank you, Led Zeppelin.
See, Jack Black just made it himself. It's like, screw copyright. I'll just perform it myself.
I'll make my own Immigrant Song with blackjack and hookers. You know what? Screw the Immigrant Song. It was a bit much.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Heavy-handed, but that's DC in a nutshell.
It was very heavy-handed.
Other things, there's a few plot holes and like unexplained conveniences that it's like if there is an explanation, it was blink and you miss it. Like in the movie, a key part of his introduction to his girlfriend goddess is for Freddy is he has a bully bend his crutch, and then literally the next minute his crutch is completely straight, totally fine, and he's walking down the hallway with it like nothing ever happened.
Oh, no, he rebent it back into place.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that part. Okay,
It
so
just-
blink and you miss it.
It took him like a second or two, and he just went...
Yeah, the cripple. All right. Yeah, got it. Other weird plot hole conveniences. He got his Shazam powers back while trying to sneak up on the goddesses, which they establish once they take them, you don't really get them back unless the staff gives it back. And he very clearly never got the staff back because Shazam threw it in the air and it got intercepted immediately.
Yeah. That staff, though. That was literally this movie's football.
Yeah, hot potato all the way through the movie. Hot potato staff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's really nitpicky. The mom with her, I don't know if she got like really bad plastic surgery. The actress, I'm not gonna say her name, so I don't want her to feel bad or the audience to think we're attacking her because we're not. But it's hard to buy you as this impoverished foster mom when in between the two movies you get like super expensive, super botched plastic surgery on your face and you look like a cat. Like, it's weird.
Here's the thing.
Her face was frozen. She couldn't act because her face was frozen in place.
Okay, the problem with Hollywood and the entertainment industry is that, at least for women, aging is frowned upon. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Sometimes you get actresses who age gracefully, like one of the lead villains in this movie, Helen Mirren. And sometimes you get people a little bit too wrapped up in trying to stay young, like the mother.
Well, I don't know if she's performing many other roles. I can't recall any other roles that she's playing. When you are supposed to look significantly older than all of these, quote, children that aren't all children, it might behoove you to look your age and not like a strange silicone cat person. Also, it really kills emotional moments in your acting when you can't move your face.
Yeah, that was a problem.
She couldn't get tears to come out of her eyes because her face is plastered to the back of her skull. Okay.
Yeah, that was distracting.
Hollywood, stop it.
Really?
Stop getting plastic surgery. It almost never works. It almost never looks good. Stop it.
And if there is plastic surgery that you plan on getting, do not be the first to get it. Don't be a hero.
Especially when your paycheck comes from being the old person. Okay, rant over.
Rant over.
All right, anything else?
I can't think of anything else because, and I'm sure you can also confirm, this movie was a wonderful meme factory.
It absolutely was. Absolutely. If there aren't significant numbers of memes made from this movie, it's because no one saw it. Because of the negative reviews coming out and because it came out at a time where there are a ton of movies that people are trying to see, including, weirdly, Cocaine Bear. We have the D&D movie coming out in 2 weeks. We have Cocaine Bear that came out last week. We have Scream 7? 6, which got great reviews. And Jenna Ortega is the wild hot thing right now. So everybody's going to see it. What else is out? Am I missing anything?
I mean, apart from, just dealing with the general commodification of art and how people basically attribute whether or not they want to watch something based on what other people are saying about that movie, there's a lot that this movie would have to vault over or surmount in order to get the viewership that we think it deserves.
Yeah. So,
if people don't watch this movie, it'll be a fucking Greek tragedy. That's what.
Absolutely. If you are going to see any DCEU, I'm not talking Joker, not talking the Batman, I'm talking DCEU Snyderverse expansion.
Yep.
You need to be seeing Shazam and Shazam 2 because they are the only redeeming movies in this whole franchise.
Yeah. Straight up. It's not even a competition.
And what's nice, it's the most self-aware of all the movies. It's aware of what it's alluding to within its own universe and making fun of it fairly.
Here's the thing that puts it above movies like Thor: Love and Thunder. It's not spending the entire movie making fun of itself. There are actually moments of breathing room where you let people feel things and act
when their faces aren't frozen.
Oh my god! Shout out to the mother from Shazam 2. Look, you tried.
The dad's still great.
The dad was great.
Battle Wagon is awesome. I like that they're shepherding an ancient wizard around in their broken down GMC van.
Hey, when you're here, your family.
All right. Are there any other big gripes that we have with this movie? I think very clearly the movie suffered because everything they were planning to do got scrapped by The Rock.
Yeah.
Because The Rock very publicly said he will not be in a movie where he is Black Adam going against Shazam, which is fucking ridiculous because Shazam's whole character is about feuding with the prior champion, who is Black Adam.
The Rock wanted to fight Superman.
Well, he's not going to. Yeah, and it's all his fault.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
This is what happens when you let pride get in the way of, good storytelling. Storytelling that would actually be thematic and consistent with what's been put before. Like that moment in the first Shazam movie where they make a reference to Black Adam. And weirdly, the Black Adam movie makes next to no reference at all, except for like one wizard scene where all of the wizards had to imprison Black Adam.
Yeah. So, again, doing cocaine comics. You have to take the good with the bad. If you want to enjoy the bad, I have nothing for you. Don't waste your money. I find it hilarious that we got trailers for The Flash in the preview of this movie, but we did not get a trailer for Aquaman 2, Wettest Boogaloo.
Aquaman 2.
That movie's doomed.
No one's talking about it.
That movie is so fucked.
I really want to see whether or not they should spliced in Batman where Mara's supposed to be.
They shouldn't have even done re-edits. They should have just said, scrap it. We don't need it.
Like they did with Batgirl.
Exactly. They knew it was going to be career suicide for everybody, and I guarantee you Brendan Fraser would not have won his Oscar if Batgirl came out. He would have been blackballed from Hollywood again. So I'm thankful they did not.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. Brendan Fraser did go on to the Howard Stern show, like within the last few weeks, and the topic of Batgirl came up, and he said he had a blast in that movie.
I'm sure he did.
And was confused as to why they didn't release it.
He's a nice guy. We'll say that. He's a very nice man, and he doesn't want to bury anybody.
Yes.
But you notice, after they had that private viewing...
Nobody said a goddamn thing.
Everybody shut the fuck up. And that is usually the sign that things are not well.
And that when they said this was unreleasable, they were absolutely right.
When there's smoke, there's probably fire. And yes, Firefly caused it.
Go!
All right. Well, let's get into what we did like. And I think there's a lot more of that.
Yeah, let's officially get into the good.
The movie is bonkers.
Oh my God.
In the best way possible. It stays so on theme with the character of Shazam. If you are a fan of Shazam or Captain Marvel, DC Comics version,
yeah,
you are going to love this movie. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So let's get into like the running gag of this movie. Branding.
I said it to you in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been calling out for their powers the name Shazam this whole time. And their question has been, what's our superhero name? One of them resorted to Captain Every Powers and calling one of his friends
Captain Every Powers Jr.
Captain Every Powers Jr. My God.
Yeah.
And then the news in that world, since they lived in Philadelphia, called them the Philly Fiascos.
Which I thought was brilliant. I really did love like the whole city kind of hating them low key. It was perfect.
Rejected by the city. I kept saying that because the movie kept showing me exactly why they would consistently reject a bunch of children trying their best to fix a city that they don't fucking know how to.
Yeah. It's bonkers. It's fun. If you are from Philly, you will probably love all the Philly Easter eggs they put in this movie, particularly in the third act where they plant a garden.
Oh, yeah.
At the garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little on the nose, for sure.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. We had a nice Man of Steel moment in the final boss fight.
Yeah.
Which is straight rip from Man of Steel.
Like, let's fly into the beam, because...
we can overpower it.
Yeah, we're fine.
And then he realized he couldn't overpower it and dove under it. I thought, see, again, self-aware. They knew what they were doing.
It's like...
And they were,
oh, yeah.
I don't have to fly directly into the thing that's trying to kill me.
It's like I can...
Amazing.
Oh my God, I can fly around. It's like there's all this unflamethrowered space that I could be flying in right now.
Yeah. I still love the character interactions, even though it's painfully clear that they're much older than 2 years older.
Oh, yeah.
They still have great chemistry. Again, missing Billy Batson is kind of the only issue there, because he's never in character. He is,
I mean,
Shazam 90% of the time.
Yeah, Billy Batson was kind of the heart and soul of the first movie. It was a little weird not having him as present this time around.
Yep. I like how they handled the coming out of the closet moment. I thought that was hilarious and fun.
Yeah.
They, again,
it was heartwarming that, like, when the green one came out of the closet when he was depowered, the whole family was like, oh, yeah, we know.
We know, dude. We saw how you were watching that baseball game. We know.
We saw how you were reading that Sports Illustrated.
Sideways.
Hey, he's not in this movie.
Insert. What else? I think the humor landed way more often than it had any right to. Given that they're supposed to be like 18 and 19-year-olds.
This should have failed.
Yeah, but they nailed it. I mean, the performances were great. Other than the mom, I can't really think of a weak performance. this is a me problem more than it's a problem, but Lucy Liu's acting is always so dry to me. Like, I don't know. She does fine, but there's always like some weird disconnect with the way she acts in her movies.
I hate to be the one to say it. She's got like two faces.
Yeah.
Smile and then serious.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kill Bill. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. The thing that's incredible about this movie is that for some reason this movie had the good idea to come up with honestly kind of contrived reason to have Jack Dylan Grazer and Jaimin Hansu in like the same room for like at least like the second act of the movie.
Yeah,
which was, oh my god,
they knew what they were doing.
It was
putting the best actors together.
Oh, that was incredible.
I get it, and it worked. It totally worked. Which it makes it all the more funny to me that in the end he's like, Billy Batson, I chose the right one, even though the whole time it was Freddy who was the one impressing him. Are you sure? Sure you chose the right one?
Are you sure we can't just give it to Freddy? Because, I mean...
It feels like Freddy was the one you wanted.
It feels like Freddy would have been the better, or at the very least, the funnier fit. I mean, Oh my god.
Yeah, they definitely misplayed those roles, I think. Just a little bit. That casting decision originally, but who would have known?
I mean, this is the problem that you run into when you have the sidekick who's a better actor than like the main kid.
Yeah.
It's like, why isn't this kid Shazam?
Well, another thing to note in this movie, there's a very noticeable change between the two movies, is the costumes.
Yes.
They very clearly, they went away from the big muscle suit that they used in the first movie, and they got rid of the big glowing, like plastic looking lightning bolt and went for more of like a metallic looking lightning bolt that seemingly would glow more when the other ones lost their powers. So that's something I noticed throughout the movie. But.
It was either like when they lost their powers, or I think it was either that or when they were in a dark room. Because I think I remember there was a scene where they were all like in the Rock of Eternity and like all of their chest lightning bolts were like lit.
Yeah. Maybe it's just they're running out of batteries. It's going dim on them.
Like these children like literally have like a nightlight installed like right up here.
Yeah. How'd you feel about it? Did you like it? Did you barely notice it? Did you not like it?
I think it was an interesting like middle ground. It's like, okay, in the daytime where they're not having to glow in the dark, let's give them like a flat metallic just like chest symbol.
Yeah.
Something that was very similar to kind of what they did in the Black Adam movie. And then at night, let's have it glow a little bit so that we can achieve that kind of same glowing effect that we did from the first movie, which was... It was interesting. I'm not sure it really changed how I felt about the suit, except for that it's very obviously more textured. Yeah. There's a lot more going on, it seemed like.
I think it probably... I'll have to go back and watch the first movie. It probably looks better overall because that plastic, like, lightning bolt looked kind of goofy.
It looked like he was wearing an LED.
Yeah, like the muscle suit looked a little soft, if you know what I'm saying. Even though it did make him look like the size he should be.
It made him look a little artificial, a little sauced.
Zach was looking a little skinny. Looks like he may not have been lifting quite as much.
It's like when you're
not looking as swole, bro.
Like when you're built all over, but somehow you've got like no traps.
Yeah,
it's like
he's probably natty. That's probably why.
It's probably natty.
Natty, yeah. You only get those huge traps if you're not natty. Hate to disappoint all you skinny neck people like me out there.
Yeah, huge traps and huge delts. Get off the sauce, man.
Or don't.
Or don't.
You look great on camera.
Yeah, I hope you make it past 40.
Rock. Yeah, I think it looked better overall, but I have the same problem with this costume as I have with all of the current DC costume designs. It's way too busy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need 100 lines in the lightning bolts. Like, it's like the Flash outfit. Like, there's just unnecessary lines and metallic, like, spots for no reason whatsoever. There's, like, scales all throughout the costume itself. You don't need all those scales. You're just wasting time and money, and it doesn't look all that much better. In fact, I would say it takes a little bit out of the look.
I'll say this. For the villains, a busy design, especially given that, you know, it's supposed to have like a scale armored look in some places.
Yeah.
That makes sense for them.
Totally. Yeah.
For the heroes, especially like DC style superheroes, that's just supposed to be like essentially, and they kind of achieved it in the first movie. Until you look at that giant fucking chess piece.
Yeah.
It looks like just a solid bodysuit.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold still. Apologies.
Yeah, a solid bodysuit look. It worked for the first movie, and the second one, it seemed like they were weirdly trying to outdo themselves or over-design something.
I feel like they probably got a bigger budget because doing cocaine comics doesn't realize the genius of the first movie was that they didn't have a bunch of money.
Right.
And so they made a more character-focused, coherent story that was fun.
And let the acting do the work.
Yes. Which they didn't do as much. This movie, like many of the DC projects, is just drowning in CG everywhere, where it absolutely doesn't need it. Like, there's a scene where they're on a rooftop and there's just horrible CG rendered Philadelphia in the background with a setting sun, and just every movie's doing this now and it looks horrible. Just go film a day scene on a rooftop. It can't be that expensive.
It looks obvious.
Painfully. It's distracting. That's the problem. It's distracting.
Yeah.
If it wasn't distracting, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's distracting. And every movie is doing that, especially for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And you're probably wasting millions of dollars to do that. You know? Why waste the money and the time?
There's no need. There's literally no need.
Yeah.
There was one cameo that I was entirely surprised by. Diedrich Bader is in this movie. And for those of you who know who Diedrich Bader is, you might know him as, you know, one of the friends from the Drew Carey Show. Those of you who are DC simps would also know him as Batman from Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Giving fatherly advice to the kiddos.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or like conveniently
protecting the downtrodden.
Conveniently showing up when a disabled child is being viciously bullied in front of a girl. Like making the most obvious cliched, like, this is what high school is like type scenario.
He did. He jumped off the building. He did.
Yeah. One of the two villains.
There are. I will say that
this was a little confusing, a little sorts of contention. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I gotta look something up. I gotta see what its rating was. I think it was PG-13. Let me just confirm that though. Yeah, rating PG-13. This movie had a handful of moments that kind of surprised me with how either violent or kind of gory they were.
Yeah.
Even though there wasn't necessarily a bunch of blood or anything. There was a scene early on with the villains where they basically just smash this dude's head straight into a concrete pillar and take out the pillar. And by the audio, everything that should be above his neck.
Yes, that should have like killed him immediately.
And you can usually tell it's extra gruesome if I giggle, and I giggled. What else? That we had the one that really got you, I remember.
Oh yeah, the wizard in jail. They magically compel him to reforge the magic staff because it's got the power of their dad and the magical tree in it. This wizard's smart idea was to try to grab for the staff and force a splinter right under his thumbnail.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've cringed that hard in years. Oh my god.
Thankfully, I was okay with it. Didn't bother me as much as I would. If you were describing it to me, it probably would have bothered me more than it did when I was watching it. But I could tell he was squirming.
It's like I've accidentally pulled off a nail before, when I was much, much younger.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It was rough.
Gross. But then they also, going back to fucking Diedrich Bader showing up in this movie, they just had that man, commit suicide The Happening style.
And, you hear it. Just thump and then... And it you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it. They delivered it.
That sound effect was
you may not see the gore of it,
but that sound was no bullshit.
I think that's a perfect example of where a lot of gore fest movies and horror movies go wrong. The suggestion of what happened there was way worse than what they could have portrayed if they had included all the gore and the blood and everything.
And to further, enrage the Freddie Freeman, having the villain very casually describe what happened right after it happened.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It worked. It definitely worked. You bring up something that I forgot about in the things I didn't like section, though.
Revision. Thing we didn't like.
Yes, again, minor things. The whole point of the plot is that they're trying to steal back their dad's powers for themselves that was stolen from them by the wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have all these powers? The whole movie, they're beating the shit out of all of the Shazam family with their powers. In fact, part of the plot is that the, I guess, good one, for lack of a better term, has her powers taken away by her sister with the staff.
I think the very beginning of the movie, the implication is that they didn't have those powers until they touched the staff. And then for the rest of the movie, they just have the powers. The staff
was broken. There was no power in it.
There was
plot hole.
Plot hole. Does it have power in it? Does it not have power in it? Does it only have power in it when it's complete, or can the power be in the pieces?
Yeah.
There were some questions that could have been further smoothed out and answered.
And then with the 6,000-year-old goddess girl getting her powers back at the very end of the movie because Wonder Woman held a stick. Okay, I guess. I don't understand how this magic god power math works, but it doesn't seem consistent at all.
Not even a little bit.
But it's fine, because it's a funny movie, and we're not focused on that.
It's a funny movie. We've literally gotten to the point where this movie doesn't even really count. It seems like a last-minute save that Dungeon Master would concoct in order to save a player character that everyone liked.
Like the main character.
Like the main character.
Speaking of D&D, let's go through all the stuff that is probably going to make it a better D&D movie than the D&D movie. And I am including the trailers for the D&D movie in this because there are moments that are awfully familiar. And granted, the Shazam movie was made a long time ago. It was delayed because of all the stuff going on at Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
and probably re-edits because The Rock wouldn't comply.
God.
But
he missed out.
That being said, there is a lot of similarities between Dungeons and Dragons and the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods. For example, we have basically every mythological beast under the sun arising in this pseudo garden dungeon.
Yep.
That arises from another realm.
Yep.
Planting this magic seed.
Yep.
And the big baddie boss has a giant dragon.
And they're acting awful like a wizard atop a dragon.
Yes. It is very much D&D to me.
Yes. A lady wizard who is astride a dragon trying to...
Chaos wizard
who's trying to control the world.
Yeah.
Has to be taken down by a band of unlikely heroes.
Yeah.
Who weirdly band together and save the day with a little help along the way.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what
there's a lot of NPCs in this movie too.
if you're wondering what I just described, the answer is pick a D&D story. But also Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah. And I am still on Babby's first.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I don't know when you'll be watching this, probably after the session, but it seems that I will be joining Babby's second D&D session on Tuesday.
Yes, you will be,
and where
at least momentarily, joining those natural ones on YouTube.
Oh, and what time is that, Emery?
Oh, that is Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays at 8:30. That is...
Go like and subscribe as well.
Like and subscribe. Also, there may, in the future, be some more movement to include TikTok in our streaming.
Yeah, you guys are pushing those numbers up, so if you want to find them on TikTok, go ahead and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
I am a big TikTok naysayer. Not that I don't see its practical business uses, but I personally will never be using TikTok because it annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah. No, probably there's going to be some synergy between TikTok and YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
But also live broadcasting to YouTube and also TikTok, maybe.
Is that a possibility? Aren't they time restricted?
I've seen some things where there's a TikTok live.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did you see the Twitch CEO just resigned after 16 years? So we will see what happens with that beast.
That is...
See if there's any evolution there.
That is probably mired in such a deep and entrenched level of drama that I don't know if I can handle even reading or covering much of that. Yeah. But we'll see.
We will see.
Yeah.
All right. Other things we liked about the movie. Taste the Rainbow.
I wasn't expecting
Nectar of the
Skittles to be referred to as likened to ambrosia.
I loved it. I'm a huge Skittles super fan, especially since they brought back lime.
I think,
now that lime is in the pack, it is in fact the nectar of the gods.
My favorite part of that is realizing how early they were setting that up.
Yeah, I called it. I knew it was coming.
It's like the second that the purple one, I forget the name of the character, but the one played by actress Megan Good.
The youngest cute one.
Yeah, the youngest cute one. Is attempting to exercise some humanity towards their newly captured daughter of a god by bringing Skittles, specifically the yellow ones that they didn't like. The first thing that came to my mind is, Skittles? Is this going to be the only scene with Skittles? No.
Yeah.
No, not even by a long shot.
I know that these movies have to make extra ad revenue within the movie, and it's pretty common to have ad placements subtly in the background or something like that. This movie is riddled with ads, and I feel like they probably already made their money back on this movie, assuming they didn't spend a bonkers amount.
Yeah, I don't know how much they made off of Gatorade.
Gatorade gets heavy placement and a full-on joke built into the script of the movie. Skittles is a plot point of the movie.
God.
Doritos are everywhere in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vehicle ads being very clearly advertised there.
The thing that I think killed me with the Skittles thing was not just how it was used, but the level to which it was used. This reminded me of 2017's Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And the way that they used fucking Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, we got sorry, this cold is killing me. Yeah. Ad placement everywhere. Hilarious use of it though. I love how they used it.
Yeah.
Because most movie makers make it an afterthought that nobody alludes to.
This movie
made it an entire plot point.
This movie made it such that the only way that this hero moment for these depowered children works is because the smallest, cutest little girl comes up with, like, oh, Nectar of the Gods. Oh, you mean Skittles. And it works.
It's very on point that they did it for a unicorn too, because I don't know if you've seen those like crazy Skittle ads, but they always have like unicorns streaming with the rainbow and stuff.
Yeah,
very on point. Great job.
The fact that they were setting up like her predilection towards Skittles and previous mentions of unicorns in the movie, it's like, how the fuck is this foreshadowing?
I love it. Masterful.
Oh my god.
There's plot holes everywhere else, but that masterful from beginning to end.
I never have I ever gone into a movie and have watched and have been delighted at foreshadowing to a Skittles ad. How do you foreshadow an advertisement?
It was amazing.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Great job.
That was wild.
Masterful. I'm impressed. I get it. It was an ad. Hilarious.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods, good on you. Speaking of Shazam, branding trouble.
Yeah. So we have to talk about this. I'm trying to decide what shirt to wear to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Shazam shirt. Why? Because nobody sells them. Why? Because they all look like Flash shirts. And if they don't look like Flash shirts, they look really dumb because they put the lightning bolt all the way at the neckline, like the character. Then you have the name. The name is goofy because it's an old character. The character can't say his own name without depowering himself. So that's a problem. Somebody asks you, what is your name? And you say, Shazam. Poof.
Oh, no.
And now you're a child.
My secret identity.
Kind of kills the vibe. And then you have the whole history with the character where the character was originally called Captain Marvel.
A reference that they make in the movie.
Hilariously. Again, this movie is way too self-aware. They know that there's a branding problem with this character, and they allude to it the entire movie. I also think it's funny they're constantly asking the Wizard for what their superhero name is, and yet the Wizard doesn't have a name, and they don't care to know his name. They just continue to call him the Wizard. Also found that hilarious, and that is exactly what a child would do.
Fun fact, the Wizard's name is supposed to be Shazam.
What is your name? The Wizard. No, we can't all have the same name, okay?
The only reason they don't call the wizard Shazam is because that would be one more time that they would have to fucking animate a fucking transformation sequence.
Yeah. DC has to figure something out.
They really do.
The character is great. The characters, as in the whole family,
Yeah.
and the wizard and the villains, they're
the
great.
Shazam family.
They're great. The comics are great. People don't go to this character because it's criminally underrepresented in the media because of bad branding. If you can make names like Wonder Woman and Superman completely generic bullshit old school names, if you can make those work, find some way to make this character work with some kind of rebranding. Maybe you bring back the Captain Marvel moniker. I get it. It's confusing when Marvel, the comic company, has a Captain Marvel in their book line that came after your Captain Marvel. I get it. Very confusing. There's probably a lot of legal trouble there.
Yeah.
But find something.
It's something.
Find
anything.
something. Find a way. Shazam, it's good. But when your character can't say their own name without fucking everything up, it really ruins the character, and you can't self-promote.
Like Thunderbolt, Captain Thunder.
They're like Pokemon. They're just constantly shouting their own name.
Captain
Pikachu!
Captain Every Powers Jr.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
I would call him...
I appreciate how the movie addresses it, though, because they do it masterfully.
I would call him Red Electric Superman, but that's a thing that actually existed at one point.
Yeah. There's also a Blue Electric Superman. Yeah. Thanks, DC. Doing
Thanks.
Comics. What else did we like? I like the design of the dragon. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I never thought a dragon made out of wood would work, but it weirdly does.
Totally does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks awesome. I really
it looked like it belonged in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know what it is about like CG wood textures, but they kind of work. I think it's because they're not all shiny.
Right.
Like everything else in CG looks terrible, and I think it's because it's shiny, but wood isn't.
Wood, you can actually have some dull and like matte color to it.
Yeah. What else do we like? Soundtrack. There's a lot of great soundtrack moments in the movie. I need a hero.
That was an amazing needle drop. An amazing needle drop, if for no other reason than they really used the song that's about Superman in the Shazam movie. It's like,
and it was great.
And it worked.
Totally.
Ironically, because there's still the Philly fiascos.
You know, we talked about in previous episodes of the show about the recent Marvel products mentioning DC heroes a lot recently. I noticed in this movie they mentioned a lot of Marvel stuff.
What did they mention from Marvel?
Avengers.
Okay, Avengers, that was one.
Captain Marvel.
Because they share a fucking name.
Kind of a cheat, but
a little bit.
Fair.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So I just it's kind of funny seeing the interplay between the two companies now. I think because they already know who won.
Yeah.
And the battle's already over. Everybody's kind of starting to regroup and start again. But
DC has some time while Marvel's still trying to figure out their post-Thanos phase.
Yeah. But I find it fun that we don't have to like sit here and pretend like the other doesn't exist. You know?
Yeah.
When, comic fans in general like
both
most of the franchises from both, right? So,
yeah, for sure.
What else?
The Nightmare Fuel.
Nightmare Fuel was hilarious. The dream sequence was amazing.
Never. If I love this movie. if I never in my life ever see Jaimon Hansu's head placed on Gal Gadot's body, it'll still be too soon.
It was hot. I was kind of into it. Let's see where this goes.
Oh no! Oh no!
While he's chewing his gum. Yeah, that was great. I will say I liked Zach Levy a lot more in this movie than I did in the first movie.
Yeah.
I think some things were kind of forced and awkward in the first movie, even though I love the first movie. And I'll say right here, I'd have to go back and watch it, but I definitely think I like the first movie better overall. I think it's more cohesive. I think there's a lot more heart in the first movie. It obviously focuses on the main character instead of the sidekick, essentially.
Yeah, it definitely had a feel of whenever Billy Batson turned into Shazam, it seemed like he was acting, Zach Levi was doing like a pastiche of what people think Superman would sound like.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes sense for Billy Batson, because it's like, I've turned into like a weird sort of Superman type. This is what he sounds like, right?
Yeah. It's awesome. Nothing against those portrayals in the first movie, because I still loved it and enjoyed it, but he definitely had a lot more fun in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder how much of that was that he was just comfortable because he wasn't wearing the big light up glowing muscle suit the whole time.
Yeah.
So hopefully he had a zipper in his superhero outfit, because he wore that the entirety of the movie.
If you are designing a superhero costume, knowing full well that those things get fucking hot on set, design a zipper so that they can get out. Otherwise, they will pee the suit.
I'm amazed that Michael Keaton agreed to wear the rubber daddy suit again. Because there is no way that is comfortable for any length of time.
Especially given that the man is in, his 60s?
Yes.
Oh my god.
What are you doing, man? Ask him for a new suit.
If anything, he should get something far more in line with, what they fucking gave Ben Affleck.
Yeah. He's 71.
What?
71.
Why are we not doing Batman Beyond?
Wearing rubber daddy costumes.
Why are we not doing Batman Beyond? He's the perfect age.
Probably because he looks amazing. You gotta admit, he looks pretty good for 71.
He still looks like he's in his 60s.
He looks great.
Yeah.
You're doing something right, Michael. Appreciate you. Your crazy eyes.
We appreciate you and the donation of your time that you have given to the Flash movie that definitely will not be wasted in its entirety.
Yeah. Everybody's saying this movie's incredible. I don't know if you saw the biggest...
Okay, everyone was saying that the Shazam 2 movie was bad.
They were clearly wrong. Yeah. Shazam 2 is great. Go see it, please. I know nobody's going to see this movie. I know it's probably not going to perform to expectations, especially if Black Adam failed as horrendously as it did. Please go see Shazam 2.
The movie deserves to be seen.
Absolutely. If anything is going to be perpetuated into the future in this DCEU, because James Gunn did say that they're going to have an Elseworlds situation with these various products that they might do a little bit more with.
I've been hearing rumors that there might be some movement towards Netflix.
That would be cool. I would be totally down with that. The problem,
the Snyderverse going to Netflix.
Oh no, stop. We don't need it. Stop it. No. You're already confusing the audience as it is with the Batman universe and the Joker universe and the DCE universe and the Elseworlds products. Berlantiverse.
Give me Shazam 3 and then quit.
Okay. Yes. Confirmed. Let's do this.
Let's do that one.
And Blue Beetle.
And Blue Beetle.
Just because I'm curious.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta see what they did with Blue Beetle. Let me get Shazam 3 and Blue Beetle, and then let's see what Gunn has up his sleeve.
I mean, we know for a fact we will never, ever get another Blue Beetle movie. So we got to get it now.
And the thing is, that movie has to do well if they are ever going to attempt that again.
Probably not. Unless maybe they'll do like a Teen Titans movie and they'll kind of shoehorn Blue Beetle in there. That's the only thing I can see happening.
If they do Teen Titans, that would mean them doing Dick Grayson, Robin / Nightwing.
We know they're not going to do that.
You know they're
as much as I wish they would. We know they're not going to do that. And no, Brendan Thwaites is not Nightwing to me. Fuck off, Mr. Thwaites. He's fine, but he's not Nightwing.
He tried.
He tried. That's all he can do. It's not his fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault,
Brendan. It's not your fault.
What happened was not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Brendan.
Please go watch Good Will Hunting if you haven't seen it yet. That's
great. Classic movie.
Wonderful movie.
Miss you, Robin Williams. Robin Williams, famously the only entertainer that I have literally cried about when I heard he died. Especially the way he died.
Yeah.
By suicide. So brutal. Made me extremely sad. All right. Anything else we really liked about the movie? A lot happened in this movie, I have to say.
This movie had a lot going.
This movie is packed with content, jokes, illusions, self-awareness.
Right.
Cameos. Oh, we forgot about the MVP.
The MVP!
The MVP is Steve the pen. The sentient pen.
The sentient pen that only ever writes exactly what you say, completely unedited, no matter what you do.
Which was great.
It was incredible.
It led to the Gatorade joke.
It's like...
Do we have red?
It's like, imagine for a moment that it took them a while to get to this letter.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, yeah, no, crumple that one up.
I love it. Steve was awesome. Steve did not have a single line in this movie spoken. But Steve was amazing.
Technically, he had 6 lines. They were just underlining the letters that pointed out the name Shazam.
I got you. My dad alarm went off. Dad humor. Yeah.
The wisdom of Solo Man.
There are so many great lines in this movie. Oh, man. Oh, I want people to see this movie so bad.
Oh, my God.
Unfortunately, a lot of the people I want to see this movie haven't seen the first movie.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna call him out.
Yep.
Nick Marlatt, you're missing out. It's the only good thing from DCEU. Please watch Shazam and Shazam 2. You in particular will love Shazam 2.
It is the first one. It is a wonderful Christmas movie.
You can even watch it with the kids.
You really can.
I mean, there is a stripper scene, but you don't see anything. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's more of an allusion to that, yeah.
I guess the allusion to the stripper isn't quite as effective as the allusion to the suicide.
Oh, no!
If you're ever wondering what is more abrasive, violence or sexual content, I think the answer is violence.
Okay.
But we're American, so that's cool.
Yeah, have the kids watch the first one and then wait about 4 years, which is about as long as it took for them to make the second one, before showing them the second one.
Yeah.
But you should see the second one. Oh my God.
It's so good. It's so good. I genuinely hope that this movie makes at least some money.
It deserves to.
I get it. They probably won't get a chance to make Shazam 3. Everybody's aging, so at some point, everybody's just going to be too old to do anything with in this franchise.
Oh my God!
I get it.
What would be really weird for a third one?
What's that?
Do we just have Asher Angel just wear the suit at some point? Or do we just make Billy Betts and just Zachary Levi the whole time?
I think that's the right answer. Have skinny Zach and buff Zach. I think you've solved it. How old is Zach?
Zachary Levi, he's got to be in his 40s.
I keep calling him Zach like he's my best bud, but, you know. He came off as my best
That's Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, it popped up. 42. All right, maybe that's a stretch.
A little bit.
He's a handsome 42. Just don't look at his neck.
He didn't work his neck out.
He's not on the sauce. That's how you can always tell. Look at their traps. Look at their neck. Let's see here. What else? Is there anything else we need to give a shout out to? Man. I think one of the things that hinders this franchise is that they made too much effort to include other DCEU stuff in this movie. If they hadn't brought in Wonder Woman,
yeah,
I mean, they showed a lot of restraint with the Superman cameo at the end of the first movie, because even back then they didn't know if Henry Cavill was going to be Superman in the near future.
Yeah, it's a little weird. They cut off the bottom of his face.
Yeah, they shot him from the neck down, basically. So yes, you could say, the suit is the same, so clearly that's the same person. But if you needed to stretch the truth a little bit to keep the franchise going,
yeah,
you could have done so. Blue Beetle is going to be kind of unique because it doesn't need any cameos at all to exist as is and still like join the next phase.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that they made a ton of cameos because when they were filming the movie, they probably thought that they were going to get more opportunities. But
yeah,
it's the right decision to throw that stuff away, let it end, and move on. But it makes me sad that we probably have seen the last of Shazam, at least this version. And it's a delightful, honest to the source material version that I enjoy immensely. Is it a perfect movie? No. Is there some corny moments? Definitely. Is there some uncanny valley moments because some people have aged? One actress got swapped out entirely. One actress has horrible plastic surgery face. There's a lot of CG. Yeah. There's a handful of minor plot holes that they intentionally just like throw at your face and make you forget about it. But the movie's so self-aware from beginning to end that you forgive it for those minor sins, and you put your disbelief aside and just enjoy what's in front of you. And I think they did a great job. I really do. Even though there was a gross amount of CG, especially in the third act, it looked pretty good. I don't know if that's a side effect of having delays and you just have more time to work on it, but it looked...
I'm almost certain that that's the result of them having a lot more time to work on it.
It looks significantly better than the CG in a lot of other DC movies like Black Adam, Wonder Woman 84.
Oh.
I mean, there's a lot of recent examples. Aquaman, like the CG looks rough in those movies. Really rough. And they spent a lot more money on those movies. What else? Anything else? Just go see it, please.
Yeah, please. Go see this movie. I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, there you have it. Our review of Shazam and Fury of the Gods. I think the obvious answer for thumbs up, thumbs down, middle ground, thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from Hit the Books Podcast Reviews.
Absolutely.
We're going to try to convince everybody, especially Nick Marlatt, to go see these movies. They're good. They're very good. Especially if you like D&D, you're going to love this movie, even if you have no context for the Shazam universe. So see the first one so you have context for the family, so you can enjoy the emotional moments. And then see the second one because you love D&D.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a whole lot of D&D isms that might go a long way with helping you appreciate this movie.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. You may see some more reviews this month than you've seen in a long time because there's a lot of movies coming out, as we alluded to.
There's a lot of movies. There's a one particular game that's coming out very soon.
Which game are you talking about?
Excuse me. Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Oh, yeah. It's getting 10s everywhere.
Yeah.
They must have nailed it. I know Nick Vanguard is real excited for this. He's been talking about it nonstop. So
yeah,
it's a good game. I played it. I played the original one and I played the remastered one. I played it enough. I'm sure it's great.
I played the demo after not playing that game. I too have played the original. I played the the remaster.
Remaster.
Yeah.
Technically the correct term.
Yeah. I played the remaster.
This is a remake.
Yeah. This remake does the weird thing that my mind did when I was thinking about what Final Fantasy VII Remake should look like. It literally filled in gaps that my mind did for this game. It's like, oh my god, that wasn't there that time. This is what it's supposed to be.
Well, I've heard on other gaming podcasts that I listen to that they're like, do you remember where you could kind of cheese it when you climb like ladders to the tower?
Oh,
and you
yeah.
kind of just wait for them to start climbing the ladder and then kill them
And
one
just
by
like,
one.
psh,
well, apparently, if you try to do that now, you fall through the floor. And I thought that was amazing.
That happened to me.
Really?
Like, I played the demo and like that fucking happened to me.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
That's the one I've heard the most about.
Like I got to the chainsaw dude, Dr. Salvador, the baghead dude with the overalls and the again chainsaw.
Yeah.
They introduced a mechanic into this game that might change how this game is played entirely, called the parry system.
Oh boy.
You can, with your knife, you can block an incoming chainsaw.
That's not how that works. The links move and your knife moves with it.
Like he does this weird little like, let me just...
That's not how that works. Hate to break it to you.
I mean, it shouldn't work. It really shouldn't.
But hey,
is it fun as hell? Absolutely.
Probably. Yeah. I'm probably going to... I might bite the bullet. We'll see after I finish Witcher, but I might bite the bullet and jump into Hogwarts because that game's just calling me right now. I want to play it so bad. Even though there's no Quidditch.
I'll give you a tip. If you're planning on visiting Azkaban, there is only one house that lets you do that.
I'm going to guess it's Slytherin.
Nope.
What?
It's the house that you would least expect.
Hufflepuff?
Yep.
What? That's amazing. I gotta play this game.
Yeah, it's weirdly locked to Hufflepuff.
That's so weird. Why? Are they the only ones dumb enough to get caught? Is that what we're alluding to?
I'm assuming it's because no one would expect them to be like warped by what they see in there, or try to take advantage of the situation in Azkaban as it is.
That's so strange.
But I've also seen during like the sorting the sorting hat segment that there, I think, is a way to have the sorting hat say something along the lines of send him to Azkaban. I think the sorting hat can actually sort you into like, or at least there should be a scene where it says, like, no, Slytherin's too good for you.
Oh, boy.
Whether or not you actually go to Azkaban, I can't confirm because I haven't played it. I've watched a lot of videos.
Some original sin type shit. Like, guilty before you've actually done something.
Like, oh, I see the darkness in your heart. Azkaban with you.
You're not learning anything here.
It's like,
get out.
You with magic? Absolutely not.
Expelled. What was the future reading one? Trelawney? The goofy seer one with the big glasses?
I think so.
Need that character to step in and be like, no!
The lady who had a plot hook caught in her throat.
Yeah. But back to what I was alluding to. You definitely will see a big special crossover edition of Hit the Books podcast with those natural ones for the review of the Dungeons and Dragons movie that is coming up in 2 weeks. March 31st is the release date. We probably, I don't know if we'll do the review the same day, but it sounds like most people are on board. Nick Vanguard and Dan the Man Maloney will probably do a review independently of the new Scream film.
Okay.
Dan's already saw it. I think Nick needs to see it this week, and it sounds like Nick's really wanting to review that movie on camera. So you will probably get a special horror review on Hit the Books. Anything else that we need to promote? I think that wraps everything up.
Yeah.
So let's get out of here. Once again, Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Great movie. Please go see it, especially if you saw the first one. Really easy to watch. You know, there's nothing too heavy in there, but there are some heartfelt moments. You'll have a ton of fun. Just turn your brain off, go in, have a blast. You can thank us later. Of course, you can always reach out to us on Twitter at HTBVids, on Facebook at /HitTheBooks. You can go to our website, HTBVids.com, if you want to find show links or streaming podcast links or covers of the week, etc., etc. You can email us at HitTheBooksVids, VIDS, at gmail.com. If you want to submit any questions for the show, any sponsorship stuff, any stuff you want us to review, etc., let us know if we're not on a streaming platform that you like to tune into, and we will do our best to join that streaming platform if we haven't already. I think that's everything. Once again, thank you for listening and watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Please hit like and subscribe down at the bottom if you've not already. It helps us out immensely, and we will see you next week.
I still can't believe they didn't call it Shazam 2 Electric Boogaloo. I mean, that would have been on point for this character.
Amazing. Missed opportunity.
Truly.
Shazam!
Shazam! Wait, what's my superhero name? Oh my god.
Oh, we totally forgot to mention. The wizard looked fresh as fuck at the end of this movie.
Oh yeah, the drip was magical.
Looked like Pharrell in that silhouette.
Oh my god.
My god. he looked like Django Unchained after he got his first outfit.
Oh my.
Modern Django Unchained.
Oh my god.
It was incredible.
The blue and the gray on him. Chef's kiss. That was...
Looked great.
Oh my god.
Looked fabulous.
Looked fabulous.
Extra wide brimmed hat.
Which makes sense for a wizard.
All right. We're really going now.
Okay.
We love you. Bye.